Hey guys, Trin here, and welcome back to Trin's Telly Recap. Now, do not get used to these frequent uploads. This is what I would maybe like to call Episode 1, Part 2, because I recently uploaded the first episode of this and I spoke about 6 shows, but I am in the middle of more than 6 shows. So I wanted to make another part and talk about the shows that I didn't get to talk about in the last video. So, kind of like episode 1, part 2, where I talk about absolutely everything else that I'm in the middle of. This episode, I think, is mainly going to be Thai BLs, but I'm actually going to mention one Western show today, and Western shows are not something that I want to talk about often in this series. I kind of just want it to be mainly about all the Asian shows I'm watching. However, there is one Western show that I want to mention today because I am a reader. It's based off of a book series, and I really enjoyed that book series. One book from said series I consider to be one of my favourite books of all time. But otherwise, it's mostly just going to be the rest of the Thai BLs that I didn't really get to speak about in the last part. Go to the last part if you want to see a couple of BLs, but you also want to see some Chinese dramas I'm watching. I actually might talk about one K-drama in this as well because it's just come to me. I recently completed a K-drama, so I'll probably talk about that in here as well. Spoiler warning for all of these shows. I'm probably going to spoil stuff in these shows. And yep, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the K-drama. It is the only K-drama in today's video. It is also the only show in today's video that I would say is romance free. So I'm a huge romance girly at heart, so I love shows that have romance in them. This one though drew me in, even though there isn't any romance, but I watched both seasons of Kingdom. It's on Netflix. Now, what drew me in about this is that it is a zombie show, and I love zombies for some reason. I have a huge thing for anything like zombie related. So, Kingdom, Zombievor, Warm Bodies, The Scout's Guide to a Zombie Apocalypse are just a few of my favorites. I love zombie stuff, and Kingdom is no exception. Kingdom was so good. Now, it's hard to keep me invested without romance. You have to have an extremely well done plot, in my opinion, because you got to keep me in my seat without romance, because I am a romance die-hard sort of girl. Like, come on. I'm a romance girl. So, to not have romance and I like you, now that is saying some. And yeah, Kingdom definitely deserves it. Now, we are following the main guy, Chun. Now, Lee Chung, is the crown prince, and his father is deathly ill. And then we also follow, we've got, I think it's his sister, I believe. Though later in like season 2, she like goes crazy and kind of deludes herself into thinking that she is Chun's mother. But I'm pretty sure it's his sister, technically. I'm pretty sure it's his sister. I forget the name of the sister though, so you'll have to excuse me for that. So you mainly follow Chun. Now, Chun is, like I said, he's the crown prince. He's next to the throne, and his father, the king, passes away. Now, the sister is like evil, and she's like, I want the throne. I don't want Chun to have the throne, but Chun is technically the one who's gonna get the throne, and so she's like, oh my god, like no, like that's not happening. um, Now, where the zombies come into it. So, what we do not know just yet is he actually died from a disease from like becoming a zombie. There's like this special like resurrection plant. So, there's a physician that gave him the resurrection plant thinking that it would like save his life. But unfortunately, the resurrection plant doesn't work in the way that everyone was hoping it would work. They thought it would just bring it back to life and whoop-de-doo. No. What it does is it brings your body technically semi back to life, but you just crave human flesh and blood. So you become a zombie, essentially. And so the king had become a zombie, and then the only way to kill a zombie is to behead it or to burn it, and that's what happened to the king eventually. So they were originally keeping the king locked up because they didn't want the news spreading that the king was dead. So they kept him as a zombie locked up, like chained up and stuff, and like feeding him humans. Because otherwise the king would be dead and it would spread all around the nation that the king had died. And like that's what the sister really didn't want. Because then the title would just go straight to the crown prince, and like I said, that's not what she wants. So you have Chan, and you have like a trusted guard. I would also maybe say best friend. We have Myeon. So Chan and Myeon, they kind of go on like a mission. And he gathers some friends along the way. There's a female physician, and which I don't remember everyone's names, which I feel so bad. No, I do remember the female physician's name. Her name was Sobi, because I remember so much that there's this other guy that kind of has the hots for her, and he'd be like, Sobia, like all the time. He'd be like, Sobia. So yeah, her name was Sobi. And then there's a guy that was injured at a camp that, and Sobia was there. And so there's this fourth guy. So it's basically a group of Chan, Myeon, Sobi, the one that's got the hots for Sobi, and the injured guy that got treated by Sobi, and I totally forget his name, so you're gonna have to excuse me for that. He's got his hair in a bun. Anyways, it's basically them as a group trying to fight the zombies. In season 1, it's heavily the zombies only come out at nighttime and they're pretty much safe during the day. And then season 1 ends when it's like it's the daytime and the zombies aren't going to sleep. So season 2 is like trying to figure out, like, hang on, why aren't these zombies going to sleep during the day anymore? They used to always go to sleep during the day. Now they can be attacked 24/7. And I just really liked it. I really liked it. There's 6 episodes per season. There's 2 seasons. I thought that maybe that was going to be it. Season 2 has also semi-ended on a cliffhanger, so there might be a season 3. I haven't Googled whether there'll be a season 3. Maybe I should. I would very much like to know if there was going to be a season 3, because season 2 ended with them figuring out how they could possibly cure themselves. So basically there are these tiny little worms inside you. If you either A, eat the resurrection plant, or B, you get bitten by a zombie. And the female physician, Sobi, so Sobi figures out that the zombies don't like water. The zombies are deathly afraid of water, because if you get bitten, you have a certain amount of time. I don't know how long, but you kind of like, you die for a bit and then you wake up as a zombie. So what Sobi has found out is that if in that small amount of time before you wake up as a zombie, if you can somehow dunk yourself in water, the little worms will come out of you and you're cured and you won't turn into a zombie. Now, the sister has a fake baby. So it's heavily known that she's pregnant. Or is she? Because she's not even actually pregnant, but she has to have a boy. She must have a boy. So she kind of captures all these pregnant ladies, and like a lot of them have women, so she ends up killing them and their babies. But one happens to have a boy. So she kills that girl, but she keeps the baby. So it's as if, oh my God, like I had a boy, woohoo! But then at the very, very, very end, that boy is bitten, and the female physician like saves him, and Chan is like gonna kill the baby, and it's like no, like because this baby's gonna become a zombie, because they'd eradicated all the zombies except for this baby. But Sobi is very like no. I dunked him in water. The worms came out. I promise you, he's not got this disease. So Chan spares the baby's life. At the very, very end of the episode, we see a little worm wiggle its way up the baby's arm and into its brain. So Sobby didn't get all the worms out like she thought she did. So, because I was so like, because a lot of Asian shows, they get one, maybe two seasons at the most, and that's kind of it. I'm not going to explain that. That's a different video for a different day. And so I was like, oh, there's probably not going to be another one. There might actually be another one. I'm down for another one. It's just a thing in Asian television. Usually one season, maybe two, is all that they get. Like, they don't feel a need to flog a dead horse like they do with Western TV. Like, you know how most TV shows at the moment are very like, it's probably got one or two seasons too many. I feel like that's an issue Asian television never have. Though you've got the other issue of like, I so wish they're like some of my favorites that have a couple more seasons. But you know what? You win some, you lose some. And so I would be very excited for season 3 is my whole point. But I just ended up really loving it. Like the plot gripped me in. It was a tiny bit like when it was action packed, it was action packed, but when it was quiet, oh my god, it was quiet. But like the action packedness made up for the quiet bits, and I get why the quiet bits were needed, but I was like kind of tempted in the quiet bits to pull out my phone. So I would probably give the show overall a good 8 out of 10, but I do really, really like it, and I will watch season 3 if they come out with a season 3 because I do really, really love it. It's just my only reason why it's like an 8 is because, like I said, sometimes it can get a little too quiet, and I was tempted to pull out the phone. For one of the fact that, like, no, I literally cannot. It's in the language and I need to read the subtitles. But I really liked it, and the actor that played Chan was hot, so that also kept me a little interested, let's be real. But genuine, I was just like, this is so cool, this is so unique. I'd never watched anything kind of like this before, so yeah, it's really great. I highly recommend the watch, and it's on Netflix, so anyone with Netflix is going to be quite easy for you to access. Let's do the Western show next, because then after it'll just be TBLs for the rest of the video. So Western shows, like I said, it's not something that I'll talk about often on here, but there is one that I really wanted to mention. Off Campus. I adore Off Campus. It's based off of a book series, and that book series is called Off Campus. It is a 5-book series, 4 main books, and then Elle Kennedy, the author, wrote a 5th book, which is just like an epilogue novel. So you get all 4 of the main couples like a couple of years later. And I really wanted to watch Off Campus. As a book lover, the first book in that series, The Deal, is one of my favorite books of all time, and I knew that season 1 of Off Campus was going to follow the couple from The Deal. So it was going to be Hannah and Garrett's story. I was very excited because we were going to get Hannah and Garrett on screen, and honestly, 9 out of 10. Okay, 10 out of 10 for enjoyability. Like, I adored the show. 9 out of 10 for, like, adaptation. You know, because they changed some stuff. Like, Justin in the book is a football player, but they changed Justin to be a musician in the show instead. And a couple of other things that they changed that I really can't be bothered going through. And I kind of maybe agree with some of the changes, but then some of the changes I was a bit like that didn't really need to be changed. For anyone who may not know what Off Campus is, it is like a spicy, like, college romance series following 4 best friends on a college hockey team, and they all get their love story. So Garrett, Logan, Dean, and Tucker, they're the 4 friends, and they all have their love story. First book and the first season of the television show is Hannah and Garrett. Garrett is my main man. I adore Garrett Graham with my whole heart. He is a beautiful man, and I love Hannah too. Hannah is so, so adorable. I love her too. And so you follow Hannah and Garrett with their love story, and this is done a little differently from the books because you get a little bit of a side couple because it wants to set up what season 2 will be. And this is another one of those changes. So the second book in the series is Logan and Grace, and the third book is Dean and Allie, and then the fourth book is Tucker and Sabrina. But they've decided that the second season of the show, they're skipping straight to Dean and Allie. Dean and Allie's like everyone's favorite. It's not mine because I'm a Garrett and Hannah person personally, but like Dean and Allie is a lot of people's favorite. Like it's probably the most popular out of the books. And so I kind of maybe was anticipating that maybe they'd skip Logan. There will be Logan, but I think Logan's just going to be season 3. I think, because my prediction is that season 2 will be mainly Dean and Allie, but then you get side couple Logan and Grace because it's going to set up season 3 being Logan and Grace. So that's just my theory. But like, let's be real, I would be very surprised if that theory turned out to be wrong. But I did like Dean and Ellie in show. I've got nothing against Dean. I love Dean and Ellie, and I'm very excited to watch them on screen as well because their chemistry was so good in the show, and I do love their book. Like, I know I said it was a Garrett and Hannah girly. Dean and Ellie's book is my second favorite. Like, it is my second. It's like, if Garrett didn't exist, yes, I'd be a Dean person, but Garrett does exist, so I'm a Garrett person. So a little bit about like the deal specifically is, Garrett's not doing too well academically, and so he might be kicked off the hockey team, and he's like, well, I can't let that happen. And so there's this one particular class he's not doing well in that Hannah is doing extremely well in. So he wants Hannah to tutor him so that he can get better grades, not be kicked off the hockey team. And Hannah at first is like, why? Why would I help you? But then it's kind of like, well, Garrett kind of sees some benefit for her because he finds out that she's got a trust. She's got a crush on Justin. Now, Justin in the book is like a footy player. So it's like footy players versus hockey players kind of in the show, because let's be real, I'm talking about the show, not the books. But because this is Trin's telly recap, I do reading recaps on my main channel, but they changed Justin to be a musician because Hannah wants to be a musician. So they thought that maybe the chemistry would be deeper if they were both musicians, which is kind of what they've done, which I kind of actually maybe get it. I kind of get why they made that change. So Garrett finds out that Hannah has a crush on Justin and is like, all right, if you tutor me, I'll like fake date you a little bit. I'll help you get Justin. I'll give you advice. I'll do all the things. And that's what makes them agree to the deal. But then over time, Hannah and Garrett just start falling in love with each other instead. And Garrett is trying to help Hannah get with Justin, but then decides, well, actually, I want to help you get with me. And there's deeper issues going on as well. Hannah was RAPED'd when she was in high school, and Garrett's got some issues of his own with his father being an abuser. So like it's got a bit of an emotional element. Like, yes, it's fun, it's fluffy, it's hella spicy. Oh my lord. But there is also some deeper issues going on, so there is depth to the story as well, and I really loved it. Like, as a book person that adored the books and then finally got to see one of my all-time favorite series on screen, I was just like, oh my god, I just adore it. I'm so into it. I love all the side characters. I love Hunter Davenport. And oh my god. Okay, so just going back to books like very, very quickly. So Elle Kennedy, after finishing off campus, she wrote like a spin-off series called Briar U, which follows some characters that are about maybe like a year or two younger than the off-campus ones, because book two's the first book in the spin-off series, that female main character is Dean's sister, and the male main character from that same book is Hunter Davenport, which I'm actually yet to read the spin-off series, which is honestly kind of criminal since I adore Off Campus so much. But Hunter Davenport does have some scenes in the show, and I love the energy that he's bringing. So I can't wait to see more of him, to be completely honest. But I loved it. I just loved it. I loved all the elements. I loved all the characters. You know, Logan and Garrett have beef, but then Logan and Garrett make up because Logan's very open about his family issues, whereas Garrett's like, why do I need to tell you? Like, he's very bottle it up, keep it to himself. But it just gets to the point where Logan's like, mate, like, you gotta tell me what's going on, or else I'm just gonna sit here and think that you're an asshole and never get over it. So you're gonna have to tell me. And Hannah helps. Hannah's like, you should probably tell Logan. Even if you don't tell anyone else, at least tell Logan. And eventually, he tells him. Eventually, he does tell him, and then they make up and all that good stuff. But I'm so excited for season 2. I know we're probably not getting season 2 until 2027, but I do know that I'm pretty sure they're already starting the filming for it. So that's fun and exciting, and I cannot wait to see some behind the scenes stuff like that. But like, I get my two favorites back to back. Not okay, nothing against Logan and Tucker, but they are just, if I were to rank them, Garrett, then Dean, then Logan, then Tucker. But nothing against. I love all four. I can't wait to see all four. But I do get my two favorites first, so I'm definitely not complaining about that one. So, I lie. I've got one more show to speak about before we get into all of the Thai BLs, because I'm a little further of the way in to Love Between Fairy and Devil, and thought that I would just give you a little bit of an update. But this won't be a long section because I'm not having to introduce a show to you, because I introduced it last time. Because in the first episode of this recap series, I did speak about that I'd started Love Between Fairy and Devil, which is a Chinese historical fantasy show with romance in it, of course. And when I made that video, I was 13 episodes in. I am now 24 episodes in, so I have watched 11 episodes since then, and it's taking a bit of a turn that I didn't necessarily expect. Not a bad one, but I just did not expect. So, they're actually in the mortal world at the moment, and I've watched, I want to say, 5 or 6 episodes of them in the mortal world. So, Lord Chen Yuen, I don't fully know how this works. I don't fully understand why he's decided to do what I'm about to explain. I might have to Google it because I think I'm slightly confused. But it's this thing where it's like Lord Chen Yuen wanted to go for tribulations, sort of thing. Because I know he was in prison because he kept disobeying his master's orders. So he got sent to prison, and I know that Fairy Dunyan came to visit him, and she was trying to convince him, like, hey, if you just do what Master says, you know, like, he'll let you out of prison, like, you just need to stop disobeying him. But Chen Yuan's like, no, but, you know, I'm disobeying him for reasons, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not just going to go back to basically being his puppet, or whatever the case may be. But Dunyan helps him escape prison anyway, and then he decides that he needs to go for tribulations, and I don't fully know, like, again, that's what I need to Google because I don't fully know how it works, but I know that what it entails is that he basically jumps into this river, and basically you wake up as a human, or it might be a human that doesn't realize that they are immortal, because basically what it is he lives an entire lifetime as a human, and I think only when he dies in the mortal world will he go back to the immortal realm. I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is because I've heard him say like some quotes of like, oh, when I was a kid, or, if my dad finds out I've skipped school again, and stuff like that. And Fairy Diane Fairy Dunyan basically decides that she is going to follow him for tribulations. I fully believe that Dunyan has the hots for Lord Genuine. It's just a cycle of emotions because Genuine likes Fairy Orchid, but Dunyan likes Lord Genuine. And then Dongfan Zinkan, he likes Fairy Orchid, but Orchid also kind of likes both Dongfan and Lord Genuine. See, in the beginning of the show, she had zero interest in Dongfan because she had her heart set on Lord Genuine. She wanted Lord Genuine. But in the very beginning of the show, Lord Genuine didn't want Orchid. I don't think he really wanted anyone in the beginning. But then Lord Genuine started realizing that, like, oh, actually, I really like Fairy Orchid. I think I might love Fairy Orchid. But it was a little bit too late for him because Dongfan had infiltrated Orchid's world and stuff like that. And now I think, not that she doesn't like Lord Genuine anymore, though surely, actually, no, I take that back because we are 24 episodes in now, so surely she no longer likes Lord Genuine, right? I think so. Anyways, because I also think that now she's starting to like Dongfan. She is now starting to like Dongfan, especially because she resurrected his 7 emotions tree. Because as I said in the last episode, Dongfan had his emotions kind of like tortured out of him, surgically removed. His dad said, like, apparently, like, the only way that you can 100% to full capacity control Hellfire, which is his power element, you cannot have emotions. And for the longest time, Dongfan didn't have emotions. I think he didn't have emotions for like 30,000 years, I believe. I think. While he was locked in prison. I don't know. Anyways, Orchid resurrects his emotions and repairs his 7 emotions tree. So now Dongfan has emotions now. He's not just feeling her emotions, he now has his own emotions. So he has to deal with those. He has to deal with the fact that, oh, I've got my emotions back. I like it, but then also it kind of annoys me at the same time because I used to be able to just go through life and not really have stuff affect me. Now stuff affects me because I have emotions and I have reactions to things. Basically, Dongfan and what I like to call the crew now, so Dongfan, Fairy Orchid, Dongfan's guard, which I totally forget his name, so forgive me, Jelly, they've all gone to the mortal realm as well. So they've not done the tribulations thing, so they're in the mortal world and they still like remember who they are. So because like I said, Diane and Chen Yuan did the tribulations thing. So they've got completely new names, completely new identities. They don't even know that they're immortal. Like Chen Yuan is literally going by Zhao Ran, like that's his name in the mortal world. Like he refers to himself as Zhao Ran. Everyone else refers to him as Zhao Ran. Only like Dongfan, Orchid, and the other two know that he's actually Lord Chen Yuan. But they meet Chen Yuan in the mortal world, but clearly they know better than to refer to him as that. So they refer to him as Zhao Ran. You know what I love though? Zhao Ran and Dongfan kind of develop a little bit of a friendship in the mortal world, and that is such an interesting plot line to watch because I never expected like Dongfan and Chen Yuan getting along. Like that was honestly so fun to watch. And I think that Dongfan and the crew they're trying to I think they're trying to keep like a prophecy and a destiny from happening. They don't want to affect Lord Chen Yuan's like tribulation. So he's supposed to marry this really famous and like pretty lady. I think it's like Zi Wenxin is who Lord Chen Huan is supposed to be with. But Chen Huan comes across very awkward in the mortal world and falls in love because he just falls in love with Fairy Orchid in every universe, which, like, oh my god, poor him. Because this is not an SDU Zhang Ling He show, it is an SDU Dylan Wang show. Like, it's pretty clear as day that when I finish this show, she's going to be with Dylan Wang. So, like, she ain't getting with you, she getting with Dongfan. So, I kind of do have pity and feel sorry for the man because Danyan is right there. She really, really likes you if only you would see it. But that's another story for another day. So I still like it. I still like it. I'm slightly a bit over the whole mortal thing and wish they'd go back to Fantasyland. But I did have a quick squiz on Netflix. Apparently, there's only 2 more episodes of Mortal, and then they go back to Fantasyland, which I'm excited for them to go back to Fantasyland. I'm not like hating the Mortal section, but it feels different. Like it feels as if I am watching a different show, kind of to some degree. And I'm excited for them to go back to Fantasyland. Is my whole point. But I still really like it. I cannot wait to continue on and finish it. It's definitely one that I will be watching to the end. I'm pretty much like, if I'm gonna drop something, I'll drop it very early on because I don't want to put myself, like, I'm sorry, if I was considering dropping this, I would not have watched 24 episodes. Like, if I was gonna drop this, I would have dropped this way earlier. But I'm obviously enjoying myself because I haven't dropped it. I like it. I loved like the recovering his emotions arc. Like that was really, really entertaining to watch him like get his emotions back. I was like, oh, like Bubby has his emotions back. Like, yes. Like I kind of love that for him. But I'm still loving Love Between Fairy and Devil. I'm probably not going to update you all again until I finish, but I have 16 episodes left. So I'm going to wait until I finish before I give you like my final thoughts. This is kind of like my in the middle update sort of thing because I watched 11 episodes since the last time I made one of these videos. But I'm still really enjoying myself. I love a lot of the side characters except Jelly. Jelly annoys me. Like, I cannot stand Jelly for some reason. I don't know why. There's probably a lot of people out there that love her. I can't stand Jelly. Like, genuinely cannot stand Jelly. Like, she annoys me every time that she comes on screen. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. I just feel like, well, she's always throwing Fairy Orchid under the bus to, like, save herself. And I'm sorry, she's talking about the fact that Orchid owes her a lot of money. You do realize that Orchid has saved your life twice. First of all, she saved you from going into the Wind Prison and asked Dongfan to let her take you under her wing, and then you did not have to go to prison. Second of all, she saved you from death because Jelly's a bit of an idiot and she did something to offend and heavily upset Dongfan. Dongfan was going to kill her until Fairy Orchid came in and saved the day. So Fairy Orchid's kind of saved your life twice, yet you still sit there and say that she owes you money and that you expect her to pay you back. Look, in any other normal circumstance, yes, I mean, Orchid technically does owe you money, I get it. But she's saved your life twice? I think that should be considered payment enough. I think, or if I were Jelly, I would waive the money. I would just go, you've saved my life twice. Once from just going to prison and one like literally saving my life. Consider that your debt paid, you no longer owe me money. That's what Jelly should be doing. That's what I'd be doing if I was Jelly, because, come on, if it weren't for Fairy Orchid, you'd be dead. You'd possibly be in prison. So, But jelly aside, love it. Love Dongfan, love Lord Chen love Orchid, love like the guard. I forget his name for the life of me, but love that guard and things like that. So it's a really good show. I'm enjoying myself, and I will give you my final thoughts when I'm finished. Rightio, now we're going to get into the Thai BLs that I did not get to talk about last time. So, one of the ones I'm watching is Payback. And now I've recently found out that Payback is based off of a Korean manhwa, which I've found on Lezen, which I kind of want to start reading. But I am thinking of maybe waiting until the show is over because Thailand adapted this. So it's slightly different because the show, they've changed like character names. So instead of Korean names, they've got Thai names now. And this is set in Thailand, not Korea. So I was thinking of like, do I want to start reading it? I do want to read Payback, but I'll wait until after because I might get confused with the two different versions of Payback. But for now, I am just watching Payback. I am 3 episodes in. I've got a little catching up to do because I've been watching a lot of Chinese shows like Pursuit of Jade and Love Between Fairy and Devil. I've got a little catching up to do with these BLs because there are 5 episodes of Payback out, but I've only watched the first 3, so. And you'll notice that with a couple of other shows today, like I got a little catching up to do because I kind of got a little bit into my Chinese shows and I kind of just took a break from the Thai ones. Not because I'm not enjoying the Thai ones. I kind of just okay. I watched Pursuit of Jade, became obsessed, and literally didn't want to watch anything else. Like all I wanted to do was watch Pursuit of Jade. Like, because I originally was like, I'll just watch Pursuit of Jade. I'll watch like 2 episodes and then I'll go back to my Thai shows. But then I just became obsessed and was like, I'm not watching anything else until I finish Pursuit of Jade. So I got I got a little bit of catching up to do with the Thai BLs. But I'm loving Payback so far. Payback is dark and gritty. So you follow Sun. Now, Sun used to date this guy called Sunny. Actually, no. Okay, so Sun used to date this guy called Bank, right? And I called him Sunny because it's kind of like a little past present timeline, and I'll get to that. Anyways, Bank and Sunny are like the same person. But when Sun was dating Bank, he was going by the name Bank. But now that they've broken up, and Bank is like this really popular actor at the moment, but he goes by the name Sunny. Anyways, so Sun was dating this guy Bank, but like Bank totally fucked him over. And they like broke up, and now Sunny Bank, same dude. He's like a really popular actor at this company, and so Sun wants to get a job at this company. He claims he wants to be an actor as well, but he wants revenge. He wants revenge on Sunny Bank for what Sunny Bank did. So Sun used to be a debt collector, like one of those scary debt collectors, and one guy decided he wanted to get revenge on Sun because he was scary debt collector to him and his daughter, and he didn't like that. And so Sun's younger brother got stabbed and left for dead by the guy he went all scary debt collector man on. And apparently that was like Bank Sunny's doing because the guy came to Bank Sunny's house and was like, "Are you Sun's brother?" And he was like, "No. Like, I'm just the boyfriend." And like, yeah, true. He's not his brother. He's his boyfriend. But like also kind of egged him on and was like, "Oh, the brother went that way." So yeah, that's how the brother died, which is quite sad actually. And so Sun wants his revenge, but then he meets this dude. Um, he meets this dude, Arthur, I believe his name is. Yeah, it's Arthur. Now, what Sun doesn't know, but us as viewers, we know this already. Arthur is the CEO of the entertainment company, but like Sun doesn't know that just yet. And the first time Sun and Arthur are in a scene together, Sun asks, "Oh, can I have a cigarette? Like, I'll give you like a butt for it or something, but like, if you got a cigarette, I'd love a cigarette." And Arthur goes, "Yeah, sure." But I'm going to charge you 200,000 baht for it. Which, like, that's just crazy. And even Son's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And Arthur just goes, well, the seller has the right to determine his own price for selling his own product. And I've decided that I'm going to charge you 200,000 baht. Pay up. And so now Son is in debt to this dude because now all of a sudden, like, he owes him like 200K randomly. And, like, Arthur is not letting it go. Like, I'm 3 episodes in and Arthur still will not let it go. And things like that. But they're kind of like working together because Arthur knows that Son's after revenge because Arthur was like watching Son's audition tape for the company and decides that, like, he's weirdly going to help Son get his revenge. And, like, I'm just so here for it. Like, I am loving it. It's like dark and gritty, but like does have its cutesy sort of elements, and just I'm loving it. Like, I am loving it so much. Also, we get Boss Chaikamon as a side character, as a guy called Pakin. He's a photographer. I clearly love that because I love Boss Chaikamon. I am a huge Boss Chaikamon girly. Like, I love Boss Chaikamon. I love him. So I love that he's a side character in this. I spoke about Boss because he's one of the starring roles in Crazy Love Moo in my last telly recap episode. And I get to speak about him again because I love him. He was very prominent in episode 3. That was his, that's the first time we saw him. When Son needs to get like profile pictures taken for the company, Pakin is the one that takes his pictures, and Pakin is such an interesting character. Like, I cannot wait to see more of him because Boss is so talented. He's so talented. But honestly, I love a lot of the characters. Like, even Bank Sunny. Bank Sunny is played by the same guy that played Tonkla in 4 Minutes, and I totally forget the actor's name, so you're gonna have to forgive me. But it is the same dude that was Tonkla in 4 Minutes. That was the Beyond Cloud show. And because I was watching Payback and I was like, I have seen Bank Sunny in something. And then it clicked. It took me a minute because he's got a different hair color in this, but then it clicked and I was like, oh my god, he was Tonkla from 4 Minutes. Like, oh my god, it's like the same guy. But he's slightly older in this and he has different hair color. But I'm just loving it so far. Like, I'm really, really enjoying myself. And I'm a little sad that it's only going to be 10 episodes. Because I feel like this is giving quite action-packed and how they're supposed to squeeze it all into 10 eps. Granted, these episodes do go for like an hour to an hour and 10 per episode. So, I mean, you know. But I really like it so far. I can't wait to continue on. And I'll give you updates when I'm further along. Like, we haven't really gotten to the romance and the spice yet. Like, I'm only 3 episodes in. It's very, like, let's just introduce the world and the characters. But I am really liking it so far. Now, one of my most anticipated shows all year has been Not. I have been patiently waiting, eagerly at the edge of my seat, very, very excited for Not. KNOT. This is a show done by M Flow Entertainment, and it is Thailand's first Omegaverse BL. So, like, I was so here for this. And they picked the perfect couple for this. Like, tell me why Boat Note are just perfect for it. Tell me why. I was like, because I found it was going to be a Boat show, and I was like, oh my god, Boat are like the perfect couple for this. They are just the perfect couple for this. Also, you might see a familiar face because one of the side characters is the guy that played Stop from Love in the Air, but he's now one of the side characters with a bit of a love interest, which I am so here for. So Boat and Note play the main couple, Nakun and Patsa. So Patsa is an Omega and Nakun is an alpha, and like so it's an alpha omega story. We've got two side couples, I believe. I don't know how much screen time they will get in comparison to the main couple. I know they'll clearly get less than main couple because Brodo are the main couple. But you've got the first side couple, which I believe is an alpha beta pairing. Then you've got the other side couple, the second side couple, which is going to be another alpha omega pairing, I believe. So basically, all the couples are because Nakun's got two younger brothers, so they're the side couples. So one of the brothers and somebody else, the other brother and somebody else. And I love it. You've got Boat's character Nakun is like this, he's like rich boy CEO type character. And what I love about Oat's character Patsa is he is an Omega, but he's not just like a frail I need help Omega. He's an I can take care of myself Omega. Like he can defend himself in a fight. He's not afraid of it. You know, like he can take care of himself. He doesn't need help. He's like kind of like hard to describe, but not really. He's not a little wimpy whiny Omega. He's like an Omega that can take care of himself. Like I just said. And like he saves another Omega from being jumped and bitten and then bonded to some random man. Because in this universe, whoever bites you on the neck, you're like bonded to them forever. I think you can not be with them, kind of. It's extremely difficult to do so and causes a lot of physical agony because of it. So the episode one, I think, is kind of like setting it all up. Not a ton happened in this first episode. I wouldn't be surprised if some people thought that this first episode was slightly boring. I didn't think it was boring because I saw it for what it was. I'm like, okay, so I think we're setting up the universe kind of. Because it was showing Boat's character and his brothers are like rich boys, blah, blah, blah. And then it would go to Oat's character, who doesn't even know he's an Omega yet. I don't even know if he really knows about the whole wolf thing because they call it like your secondary gender because you've got your main gender, whether you are male or female, but then your secondary gender is your wolf type, the alpha, beta, omega thing. Because females can be alphas, females can be betas, females can be omegas, males can be alphas, males can be betas, and males can be omegas as well. And so he likes hanging out at one of his friends' coffee shops quite often. Like there were a lot of scenes of him just like hanging out at that coffee shop. Boat's character's guard goes to the coffee shop to buy coffee. But basically, the coffee guy made a coffee. Oat took the coffee because this guard guy asked for a coffee, but Oat also asked for a coffee, so he thought it was his own coffee. And Oat's friend is like, "Oh, hang on, wait, no, that coffee's not for you." And so Oat's character, which I should be calling them by the characters, Patsa. So Patsa's like, "Oh, sorry," and Patsa hands it to the guard, and then the guard takes it back and gives it to Nakun and is like, "Oh, here's your coffee." Nakun gets a whiff of Patsa's smell because Patsa's smell is all over the coffee cup. He becomes obsessed with this smell. He spends a good majority of this episode, like 45 minutes of him just smelling a coffee cup and telling everyone around him, I want you to find out who this scent belongs to because he just becomes obsessed with it. The one where he just smells a coffee cup for 45 minutes, if this were an episode of Friends, right? Because he just becomes obsessed with Patsa's smell and needs to know who he is. He even he starts dreaming about fucking him. Like, because you get some flashes of a sex scene, but they've not even met yet. So I think he's dreaming about it or something along those lines. I mean, it's hot, but it hasn't happened yet. Slow your roll. But I just love Patsa because Patsa, like I said, he helps this so he's walking and he sees this little Omega kind of getting jumped by these dudes, these three alpha dudes, like they want to bite him and like take him and blah blah blah. So Patsa saves the day and stops this other guy from like getting bitten. And then this guy takes a liking to him, like, do you want to be friends? Can I have your line ID? And they're all chatting at the coffee shop. So him and like even like the coffee owner, the guy that owns the coffee shop comes around and is like, oh yeah, like, do you not know about like second genders and stuff like that? Like you should consider getting tested. So Patsa goes and he gets tested so that he can find out what his secondary gender is. He believes he's going to be an alpha, and a lot of people around him think that he'll be an alpha because, you know, he can take care of himself, he's good at fighting and things like that. So, like, stereotypical, like, they think, like, oh, like, you know, we think that you're, like if we were a betting man, we'd bet you'd be an alpha. At the very, very end of the episode, he doesn't find out, but, like, us as viewers find out because the camera pans to a computer screen with his results of testing. Turns out he's an Omega. And Patsa doesn't know that yet because that was like the end of the episode. It cut off their sort of vibes. But like, I think Patsa will find out next week because Tabiel's like to just give you one episode a week. So I'm literally only one episode in because I'm only one episode in. So Patsa and Nakun, they do meet because you're probably wondering if he spent 45 minutes filling his bloody coffee cup. Do they meet? They do meet because in the episode, Patsa is kind of gets a little bit jumped by guys. And then Nakun comes in to save the day, takes one whiff of Patsa's scent and goes, holy shit, you're the coffee cup. You're the coffee cup I've been smelling all episode. You're the one that I've been trying to find. Also in the episode, like, actually kind of, look, I know I was like, I kind of maybe get why some people think the episode's boring, but like a lot of stuff actually does kind of happen this episode. So, because I don't know if Patsa goes into full heat. Some people like to do this thing called preheat, which is always left up to author's choice. Like PMSing with a period, so you like kind of get symptoms before the actual thing hits itself. And so people in this universe like to call it a preheat. So it might be preheat that Patsa's going into because he's in his apartment and he's sitting on this chair and he's like he's hot and sweaty. And then like he touches himself and he slightly feels better. And he's kind of like humping his chair. It's like weird. Anyway, and so when Nakun comes to like save the day, they kiss a little bit and Nakun bites Patsa. And this is where it gets a bit because when they were all chatting, when Patsa and his friends were chatting at the coffee shop, it was very like, yeah, you kind of want to avoid being bitten at all costs. Like, not a lot of people do this because then you are basically bonded to this person for life and like there's no getting out of it. And so because you only really want to bite someone that you think is like the one for you because otherwise it's very difficult. Don't bite your little fling. Don't bite your one night stand. You know what I mean? Or only really bite the one that you think that you will spend the rest of your life with. Like, come on, it makes sense. But yeah, Patsa let Nakun bite him. I think it might have just been a heat of the moment and Patsa didn't realize that he'd been bitten, I think, actually. But you do get a little bit like next week or not. And so it gives you like a little preview for next week. And Nakun's like, oh my God, like I'll take care of you. Like, you know, I'll take responsibility for the fact that I've bitten you. And Patsa's like, what the fuck? But I love it because I remember from watching like the pilot trailer and the actual trailer where Patsa's like, I'm not living with this random man. But then his friends are like, you're going to be in physical agony the longer that you stay apart from him. I know you want to be apart from him, like I get it, he's some random man, but like you're bonded to him. So whether you like it or not, you're gonna need to be in forced proximity with him. Unless you basically feel like being in physical agony, possibly dying. Because I do believe, if I remember from the trailer, you stay away from your bonded person long enough and you will die. So fun. But I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I knew I'd been anticipating this show all year. There's going to be 12 episodes, and I am so here for it. I love it. I love it so much. Like, I literally love it so much. I'm obsessed. And I love all of the couples. We haven't got, like, the startings of every couple yet. Like, we've only really got, like, main couple connection. But I know who the side characters are, so I do know that, like, who's going to get with who, and we'll get some connections starting in the next couple of episodes, I'm going to assume. But I just love it so much. Like, I love it so much. I knew, because I'd been anticipating it all year, because I was like, oh my god, like, a Megaverse television? Holy shit. And holy shit is right, because I'm obsessed. I love it. And I am itching at the edge of my seat for next week, because I need to know what happens. Like, I need to know what happens. I don't even know what you want me to say. I'm so obsessed. And Boat Note, like I was saying, they are the perfect couple for this. Like, because even, like, pre-not, I was, like, just sitting there one day. Like, sometimes, like, you just chat to yourself. I'm like, oh, like, if they ever did, like, an Omegaverse show, like, who do I think would, like, do really well at an Omegaverse show? I had always thought Boat Note. I had always thought that they would be great in something like this. And now they're literally getting something like this, and I'm so here for it, and I am heavily enjoying myself. We're going to end on a little bit of a low note. Not like terrible or anything like that, but this is probably my least favorite of the ones I'm watching. But I do really like the couple that star in it. Like, I'm a huge fan of these actors. So I'm watching Melody of Secrets, and this is a Force Book show. They're a couple from GMM TV. Now, I started watching Melody of Secrets as it was coming out. And it was coming out a good couple of months ago. But then, see, here's the thing. I liked it, and I was liking it enough to continue, but it wasn't like my favorite thing in the world. It's only a 10 episode show, and I've watched the first 6 of them, so I only have 4 more to go. However, episode 6 came out like months ago, and I don't know, like, this is the thing. I've only got 4 more left. But I've not touched Melody of Secrets in about maybe 2 months. I've just taken a bit of a break because I'm kind of finding the plot quite boring. Like, I don't want to be one of those generic people that is like, I'm only watching it for Forcebook. But I feel like, I think I might really only still be watching it for Forcebook. Because I love Forcebook. I love Forcebook. They were great in Perfect 10 Liners. They were great in Only Friends. And it's not that the show's got bad acting. That's not what this is. I think it's just the plot. I'm finding the plot extremely boring. And I will continue. I've already got 4 episodes left. I kind of want to continue. There's only 4 episodes left. And I love Forcebook, and I kind of want to, like, watch everything the Forcebook have ever done. So I do want to make myself finish this show. Like, I kind of, like, refuse to drop it. I refuse to drop it. And I am slightly curious how it ends. I will admit I'm slightly curious how it ends, but I'm just not loving it. And I've kind of had, like, a 2-month break from it to watch other stuff. Just because, like, I'm not loving it. I'm not obsessed, you know, like, I don't know. But basically, we follow this guy called Botplen, and he was in this accident that left him with severe amnesia, so he doesn't really remember much from the past. He lives with his grandma. I'm pretty sure his mother is brain dead or whatever. Anyways, he meets this guy called Tankun, and he says that he is Botplen's lover. But things aren't really adding up. Like, he's got, Botplen's got a friend, Mile, which is played by Bon, and I adore Bon. Like, I will admit, I love Bon so much. So I love that he's a side character in this. But Mile is like, ooh, like, are you sure? It is stemming from a bit of jealousy because Mile has the hots for Botplen. So because Botplen has some concerns about Tankun, and Mile will just feed into that. Oh, like, because Botplen will be like, oh, like, I don't know if Tankun's telling the whole truth. And then Mile will be just like, yeah, fuck Tankun. Because Mile's got the hots for Botplen and is hoping that Botplen will leave Tankun and get with him. Which that's not happening because it's a Force book show, not a book bond show that would be cross coupling, which I don't think GMMTV are ever planning on doing anytime soon. So it's clearly staying with Tankun, but turns out Tankun isn't his lover. Tankun is his lover's brother, but that brother is dead, I believe. So who Botplen was really with was this guy called Tanbob. But I'm pretty sure that Tanbob died, I believe. Anyways, I think Tankun has also just always had the hots for Botplen and decided to take his place or whatever. There's also a little bit of a murder mystery going on because Tankun does work for the police. Botplen and Mile, they work for a journalism company. And so there's a bit of a murder mystery because someone dies. Botplen is a witness. I believe that they at first do think that maybe Botplen might be the murderer, but then he's like, well, no. But also a big part of this plot is that things just aren't adding up because of the fact that Botplen has massive amnesia from the accident that he suffered. He like got hit in the head with a gigantic log. Like king hit with a log. So he's got heavy amnesia about anything pre him so when he wakes up after the accident, he remembers. He just can't remember anything before. So that's kind of the plot of Melody of Secrets, and I'm just not the biggest fan. Like, I just feel like the execution, like, I feel like the idea is there, but the execution, I just don't know. Like, I'm probably only really going to give this one like a 5 out of 10. I love Force Book, so I will continue because of them, and I will admit it's pretty decently spicy. And I do love me some NC, and I love Force Book, so like I'm not mad about that, but just I'm finding the plot of this one to be just boring me to tears, kind of. I am probably being a little bit basic by only wanting to continue because it's Force Book and I like Force Book, but with some couples, I want to watch everything they've ever done because then I'd love to like rank all their shows. So, and I wouldn't be able to do a Force Book version if I actually dropped Melody of Secrets. Like, because Force Book are good actors. And like I did say, I'm slightly curious how it ends. So I will eventually watch those final 4 episodes, but for now I've just watched the first 6 and I am just watching other stuff because I'm just like more interested at the moment in watching other stuff. Like Love Between Fairy and Devil's my current watch. And some of the other BLs, like I get an episode of Not per week, I get an episode of Payback per week, and things like that, which I have more interest in watching at the moment. But eventually, I will finish Melody of Secrets. I will make it my mission to eventually finish that goddamn show and then give you my final ratings. But like at the moment, it's feeling like a 5 out of 10. Not's a 10 out of 10 because I totally forgot to rate that. Not is a 10 out of 10. Payback is also a 10 out of 10. I don't know if I rated that one either, but yeah, Not and Payback are both 10s out of 10s because I'm heavily enjoying myself with both of those shows and think they're great shows. But yep, that's basically it. That's everything that I'm watching right now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're watching any of these shows and your thoughts and things like that. Please don't spoil anything for me that I have not seen yet. I'd appreciate that. But yep, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you love good BL just as much as I do. And yep, I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.